Hello hunters! Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gaudium and I'm voicing for Aris in this video. Today, I'll show you 2 endgame Greatsword builds that I'm currently using to farm tempered monsters and get Artian weapons. I'd like to remind you that everyone has their own playstyle, so feel free to adapt these builds in the way you play and enjoy your hunts with a Greatsword. We'll go over the builds and skills, explain how they work, and why I chose them. Let's start with the first build. This one is made to hunt any monster and feels smooth to play, taking advantage of the Guardian Fulgur Anjanath and Gormagala armor bonuses. We'll begin with the Anjanath helm and arms, both beta. If you equip 2 pieces of Anjanath armor, you'll get the set bonus skill called Second Wind 1. This skill gives you a small additional stamina bar. At first, it might not seem like much, but the key is that you can pair it with a maximum might skill, which at level 3 gives you a plus 30% affinity boost when your stamina is full. And the extra stamina bar from the second wind does not count towards deactivating max might. To be more specific, maximum might deactivates 2 seconds after consuming stamina, but if your stamina returns to full before those 2 seconds pass, maximum might will stay active. This skill activates when your stamina bar is full for at least 3 consecutive seconds. To recover stamina as quickly as possible, we'll use Constitution, which comes from the waist piece. This skill reduces stamina consumption by 20%. On top of that, you can combine it with a black belt food buff. So, why is this combo good for Greatsword? In Wilds, the Greatsword has a very aggressive playstyle. You'll need to roll constantly to reposition yourself after charge attacks and prepare your next offsets. Having an extra stamina bar and reduced consumption allows you to keep Max Might affinity buff active even after rolling, letting you maintain that plus 30% affinity constantly. To further increase your affinity, you'll use the Gormagala coil and legs beta pieces. Equipping these 2 pieces gives you the set bonus Black Eclipse 1. This skill activates when facing large monsters, automatically inflicting you with a frenzy virus. Once you land enough hits on the monster, you'll cure the frenzy and gain a 15% affinity bonus. This pairs perfectly with antivirus, which speeds up frenzy recovery and adds another 10% affinity boost at level 3. It's worth noting that the in-game description of antivirus skill says gives a 15% affinity boost at level 3, but this is actually a mistake. You'll only get a 10%. So, combining the 2-piece set bonuses with Antivirus 3, you get a total of 25% additional affinity after curing the frenzy. Speaking of affinity, our next piece is the Beta Arcveld chest, which gives 1 level of weakness exploit and has a level 3 slot and a level 2 slot for armor jewels, one of the best armor pieces in the game right now. Weakness exploit at level 5 increases affinity by 30% when hitting a monster's weak spot and adds an extra 20% when hitting a wounded area. Since there aren't many skills that boost affinity percentage, this one is incredibly useful. I'd recommend not relying too much on that 20% extra from the wounded areas, as it's pretty situational. Using Agitator at level 3 gives you a plus 12 raw attack and a plus 7% affinity when the monster gets enraged, bringing your total affinity up to 92%. The remaining affinity comes from the weapon, which we'll check out later in the video. Next, we have Counter-Strike, a skill that at level 3 grants plus 25 attack when you get knocked back. But there's a little trick to activate it without actually being knocked back. If you use a move with hyper armor against an attack that would normally knock you back, the skill will still activate. For Greatsword, this skill shines with offsets, where you often get hit but have hyper armor. You can trigger it even with tackles. Plus, the skill lasts for 45 seconds, making it something you'll definitely want to take advantage of. Lastly, we have Flinch Free, which comes for free with the Gormagala Greaves. Let's do a quick rundown of the armor jewels we'll need. For the level 3 slots, we'll use 1 Challenger Jewel and 2 Tenderizer. And the level 2 slots, go with 2 Mighty and 3 Counter. Finally, for the 2 level 1s remaining, we'll use 2 Sane Jewels. The talisman we'll be using is the Exploiter Charm 2 to get the last 2 points of Weakness Exploit. Now, let's talk about weapon choice. We'll be using Artian weapons because at the time of making this video, they're the best option. I recommend crafting the Sleep Artian weapon since the Greatsword takes full advantage of sleep with charged wake-up attacks. That said, you can pick whichever element or status effect you prefer. When it comes to the weapon skills, there are 2 options. The first one is an all-around, great for any monster and very comfortable in multiplayer. Focus 3 to reduce Greatsword charge times and Critical Boost 5 to increase the power of critical hits. The second option is more guard focus setup, ideal if you're comfortable guarding with a Greatsword. Focus 3 remains the same, but we drop Critical Boost to level 3 and add a level 3 Offensive Guard Jewel, which boosts our raw attack by 15% for 12 seconds after a successful guard. Regarding Artian weapon crafting, I recommend 3 attack pieces when crafting it. For the reinforcement bonuses, you'll need at least 3 attack augments. The other 2 augments can go into affinity for an extra 10%, 5% from the base weapon, plus 5% from the augment, hitting 100% affinity with this build, and sharpness to help maintain white sharpness without issues. That said, I believe the very best option is to go for 4 or 5 attack augments. In case you don't have Artian weapons yet, you can use the Arc-Filled Greatsword as a solid alternative. It has great stats and comes with Focus 3. Plus, it has excellent slots that you can fill with Critical Boost 5 and Critical Eye level 1 for an additional affinity, bringing the total to 96%. Before we move on to the next build, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe. We're close to hitting 50,000 hunters that love Greatsword. The second build leans more on taking advantage of power clashes against monsters like Ajarakan, Arkveld, and Doshaguma. The key change here is that we'll be using the Dahad helmet, arms, and legs, all beta. With 2 Dahad pieces, we'll unlock the set skill Binding Counter 1. This one activates when you perform a power clash with a monster, boosting your attack by plus 25 for 1 minute. With 3 Dahad pieces, we'll also activate the group skill Lord's Fury, which grants Resuscitate 3. This skill works perfectly with a Gormagala set bonus, since it increases the attack by plus 10 when you're under the Frenzy virus or any blight. We're keeping the Gormagala combo for its set skill and antivirus, but this time, we'll be using the Alpha Chest and Waist pieces. We max out Agitator to level 5. We're still using Counter-Strike to take advantage of the offsets. We also keep Maximum Might at level 3. Sure, we might lose a bit of consistency with stamina management when dodging, but you still have Constitution to help reduce stamina consumption. In this build, we're only taking Weakness Exploit to level 2, giving us a solid plus 10% affinity to keep getting crits consistently. This brings the total affinity to 70%, not counting the weapon. The remaining affinity comes from using the Mantle of Corruption, which gives an additional plus 30% affinity while active. Evade Window, which adds extra iframes when dodging, and Adaptability are built into the armor pieces, so no need to worry about slotting those. For the weapons, everything stays the same. Now a quick recap on the jewels we'll be using. 1 Challenger and 2 Tenderizer for level 3, 3 Mighty on level 2, and 1 Saint for level 1. And to wrap things up, we'll be using Counter Charm 3 Talisman. If you want to check this build, I've left 2 links to Mobalytics in the description so you can check them out in detail. I hope to bring you a Greatsword guide video soon, diving deep into all its hidden secrets. So see you guys in the next video, and happy hunting!